My story, I come from a very humble background, raised by a single mother, and I've been doing art my entire life. Um, Put myself through college, and I went off and got a start in the film industry working at Prologue, and I spent about a year there and got my start in the film industry and went off and started freelancing from there then on. And now I have my own company that I work from my home studio. And yeah, it's been a really special journey so far. So science fiction has always been a really big part of my life. Growing up, I read a lot of books and um, I drew a lot. And the things that interested me most was like fantasy and other worlds, imaginative stuff. And so um, I've been really interested in science fiction and fantasy for as long as I can remember. Most of the time, when it comes to learning about motion design or just motion itself and then combining it with design, for me, it's been all about just observing the world and finding what interests me and how things move and how design plays and how design and language works. So for me, it's like it's a never ending process to learn it, and it's always evolving. And so I'm constantly a student to just art and design and motion. So Lost Boy came about. I had been doing a lot of like computer design and I originally started drawing as a child, and I had stopped drawing for a while, so I wanted to find a way to really reconnect with my childlike self and creating. So I started drawing a lot, and I just started drawing these random characters, and they kind of evolved into this story that I had developed and built with my friend Anthony Scott Burns. So we kind of developed this story and this idea, and we pitched the idea to our friends at Post Panic, who were our partners in making the film. And then we ended up being out in Spain and filming it. It's a crazy experience, and then quite a bit of time of post production. And about a year later, we had this short film. And the short film was designed to be kind of like a piece of the world, an essence of this bigger idea that we were, proposing to make a feature film length version of and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a pretty crazy project. It was mainly just comprised of just passion. So, yeah, fully self-propelled passion, I guess. Ghost in the Shell originally started with a collaboration with my friend Philippe and I. We wanted to do like some style frames of the original anime, but in our perspective, and that kind of turned into this massive collaboration with like 40 people or so, and a big photo shoot, and this actress, or my friend Christine Adams, um, and my friend, he's a photographer. We all got together and kind of just made this massive project, and it was just it was so much work, and we really wanted to just take the original inspiration behind the anime and translate it to film in real life, basically. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. So, but it was mainly inspired by just doing something for the passion and sincere love of something. So it wasn't designed to like make money or any of the other motivations behind most people's creations. Was simply just because we wanted to make it. So yeah. So Akira, I watched Akira for the first time when I think I was like maybe 10 years old, And in America, we don't really have anything like that. So when I first saw it, I just couldn't believe what I had seen. So I'd never seen anything with that level of depth and the fidelity and as complicated and interesting of a story. So that, I think the real key thing that I learned from Otomo and everybody that made the original Akira and the anime and the manga is I learned that I think that like to make something that powerful, you really have to dedicate everything that you have to it, and you can really feel like the depth in Akira, and I think you can really feel like Otomo's mind working in making it, so you can really feel his essence in it. And there's so many different layers and things that I've learned from Akira. That's just like one of the many things that I've learned from it, but yeah, it's just a masterpiece. So I'm making a Star Wars film right now, and so I'm trying to explore the realm and the world of Star Wars, and I'm trying to really understand the complete process of creating something from the story, the idea, the original, everything. And so I think in regards to style, I'm trying to figure out how blockbusters are made, or like how like Western films are really kind of made and broken down, and then but taking that idea and making it more in an artistic kind of feel, but accessible too. So that's kind of the style that I think I'm exploring right now. That and a lot of cinematography and photography. I'm very particular, so if I'm going to take on a project, I need to feel like I have an emotional connection to it, or I don't work on it. It's very important that the client is a good, like they're nice people. I don't like working with people that are eccentric or weird. I just don't deal with it because the project is already very difficult. So I try to avoid weird people. So, but yeah, I think in regards to working for client stuff, because I'm getting paid to work on something for them. I think I just try to find the right people and the right project that aligns with my own personal values, and then I'm able to really kind of connect with it and then put myself completely into it. So yeah, I have kind of a unique situation with my career, I guess, is I don't have a studio like an office building, and I work from home, and all of my collaborators are friends of mine, and we all kind of freelance, and so I handle the creative side, which is like, designing and the production side of things, and then my wife, she handles like the scheduling and the production side of things. So we kind of, between the two of us, we can be two people, or we can be 20 people or 40 people, like depends on how many jobs we have to fulfill. But yeah, I feel like we've been using this business method for quite some time now. I mean, my entire film career, aside from Prologue, has been this way, is working either as a freelancer or working directly with clients, and then taking in those projects and then building up special teams of close friends and collaborators. But I feel like it works great, and I think it's kind of like it's a business model of the future, I think. So because not everybody has to be near me to work on it. I can communicate with them through the internet, so yeah. But it's quite complicated, but we somehow make it work. So yeah. And it comes from everywhere, really. I don't know. I look at my entire life, my experiences, just being inspired by everything, really, from music to I'm not too specific on certain things. There's a couple things that I really adore and love, but inspiration, I mean, it's like tomorrow it could be trees, the next day it could be butterflies, like one day it could be a box, you know. It doesn't really matter to me. It's like everything is inspiring. So sometimes it's a movie, sometimes it's a photographer, sometimes it's, I don't know, a microphone. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So inspiration for me just comes from everywhere. So at all times. So my answer about creativity, I think there's no such thing as running out of ideas. Honestly, I think that the there's an endless amount of ideas, and it's up to you to just unleash them and find them and explore them. Um, so I don't think I mean, when I was a young child, I used to really, one of my biggest fears doing art for a living was like artistic block or creative block or not having ideas. And it was a big fear of mine. But I have a system that basically beats that. Um, so I don't think I would ever run out of ideas anymore. My biggest problem now is I don't have enough time to do everything I want to do. So yeah, that's a big problem. So. Yeah, I want more time. Need more hours in the day. So yeah. Connecting my ideas with visuals. Um, I have like a state of mind that I get into once I've kind of have an idea. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a meditative state. I kind of use my mind as like a vision portal, I guess. And I just will close my eyes and I will see it. And then once I can see it clearly in my head, I've been spending all these years kind of using these tools to kind of take the ideas that are in my head. Usually what I'll do is I'll just take my sketchbook and then draw out very small like drawings of what the ideas are. So that's almost like a bookmark in a book of a thought. And so I'm constantly, oh, okay, that'd be interesting. And then seeing it moving and transitioning, and then I will write it all out and make as many notes as possible. And then I will use one of the programs in my computer and just do it until it's done. So sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes a year, 2 years. So yeah. So every project's different, but I've been training my mind to like Steve Jobs called it a reality distortion device. He would think of an idea that wouldn't exist and he would go beyond the spectrum of reality, and he would kind of manifest it, bring it to his conscious now, and then try to evolve it. And I think was kind of an interesting thing about him and Apple at that time, is they would make the things that you didn't know you needed to have. And so that's the same kind of mentality I try to do when I think about concepts and ideas. So yeah. Yeah, but I won't tell. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of my projects, my personal projects, come from deep within myself. So, and I don't ever want to tell people those things. I think that they should discover them themselves. So, because when I was born a white male in America, but my art is something else. So it's really who I am inside. So, um, and that's for people to discover whether they see that or not. So I don't ever want to tell somebody what that is. I let them discover it and find it for themselves. Yeah, I mean, sometimes maybe this is more negative, but maybe it is true. But sometimes, like when I when I'm experiencing something and people are very like excited or happy or overwhelmed with it, but I don't feel that way. I feel very like what am I, an alien? What is going on here? I feel very different. So I mean, I think I don't know. I have some theories on this stuff, but it's probably not good for this interview. But yeah, I think I guess so. Maybe I do come from somewhere else. At least my thoughts do sometimes, I think. So, yeah. I would really love to work with Otomo-san. He has this amazing story called Domu, which I would love to um, translate to film. Yeah, Otomo is really great. I would love to work with him. Well, I've never worked with him, so I don't know, but I really admire him and his work. David Fincher, of course. Denis Villeneuve would be amazing to work with as well. And uh, yeah, so many people. Elon Musk, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of interesting people. Balance in work and life for me, um, I just stopped even trying to have balance with it, honestly. I don't really believe that there is a balance to it. If you're really doing it, I don't think that there should be a balance. I think you can try, but I've never been able to try it to find it in 9 years of working really hard. So I think balance just comes from you being okay with being passionate and making sure that you are taking care of the basic needs around, but making sure that if you have a family that you're present there, that when you do have time to do the things that you're doing, you're completely in the moment. Like, I'm here doing this interview, I'm not thinking about other things. I'm here in this moment right now. So when I work, I'm in the moment of work, and then that's it. When I'm with my family, it's that. When I'm with my friends, it's that. So I try to, there's never enough time to do it all, so I just try to be in the essence of the moment, doing exactly what I need to do at that moment. And just, that's it. A lot of it comes down to trust. It has to be somebody that I feel I can trust. Doing what I do, I'm pretty intense when I work, so I have to have somebody that is just as intense as I am and willing to go and work, 14 hours without complaining about it and just sit there and do the work. Uh, yeah, so for me, it's a matter of just finding somebody that I can trust, um, and somebody that really has an exceptional eye, or somebody that I feel like I can connect with and create something together with. So, but for the most part, it always just comes down to trust. And I have a kind of a really tight group of people that I collaborate with, that I trust, and I try to work with them as much as possible. And yeah, and every day I try to slowly grow that list out, meeting the right people and collaborating. And yeah, but it all just comes down to trust, though, because yeah, that's all it is. It's trust. Yeah. So a lot of the times that they're my friends, and so I've known them before, or like as my career was growing. Um, but yeah, sometimes when I'm looking for certain talent, like when I'm making Star Wars right now, I'll see somebody's art, or I'll follow an artist, and I'll just contact them and say like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Are you interested? Would you want to help? Can you help?" And then, you don't know until the person actually delivers. So, because sometimes you have these amazing stories where like somebody randomly, you reach out to them and they do the most amazing job, and then sometimes you think that this person is going to do a great job and they fail horribly. So you just never know. So I try to not pass judgment until the first time we kind of work together, and then I can see. A lot of times, though, with my collaborators, we usually kind of do a passion project together, and once we know how to work with each other and really push ourselves through the stress of making something, that's kind of like an interview process. And then once we work together, I'm like, oh, okay, this is really great. And then a job will come in, and I'll say like, oh, I think that you would be great to do this with. And then I'll ask them, and then we'll agree, and then we do the job. My studio or my working area, we have a pretty big house in San Diego, so I have like this pretty big room, and um, I have this really big desk that I made with my friend, and it's like 3 feet by 10 feet, and it's electronic, so I can move it up to stand and sit. So I sit and stand. That's how I'm able to work like 14, 16 hours because I'm constantly in cycle. But yeah, it's just surrounded with art and posters and books. I have a lot of books. I love books. So, but yeah, it's kind of like I love my office. It's a really great place, and it's like even being here in Japan. Like I've been here for like 7 days now, and I'm excited. I love it. I don't want to leave here, but I'm also very excited to get back home to working in my office and stuff. So yeah, it's a special place, I think, and I've kind of tried to design it just right. And it's right in my house, so I have no commute. I could just like roll out of bed into my office, which I don't know if that's good, but it makes it faster. But the work never leaves, so yeah. Balance between commercial and personal work. At this point in my career, I only do client jobs that I'm passionate about. So it's kind of like my passion projects have kind of bled into my client work. So balance for them is I try to I try to keep it like ideally it's like 20% client work and then 80% passion projects, but the cost of living is kind of difficult sometimes. And so um, usually right now it seems to be about 50% passion work and 50% client work. So um, yeah, but I'm trying to design my life around um, slowly making passion projects that will build up so that I can really do bigger projects. And um, what's been ironically happening is all my passion projects have had more influence on my new clients. So my clients will see my passion projects and then hire me for those projects based on the passion stuff. So it's kind of this ironic thing. It's like a manifestation. So I think a project that I really enjoyed the process of creating. I think it was probably this title sequence we did for FITC Tokyo. It was yeah, it was just like a group of friends and collaborators, and the flow of it was just really great. Everybody was just everybody synced in really well, and everybody's strengths complemented each other's weaknesses, and we all kind of just elevated the art. And it was like a perfect example of like friends and new friends and people getting together and just being passionate. And it was like once that project came through, I used it as an example to try to recreate since then. So like great people, talented people, smart people, capable people, all working towards a passion. So my next project is I'm about 7 months into it now. It's Star Wars. Yeah, making my own Star Wars. So yeah, so it's before A New Hope, and it's all new everything. So completely new characters. It's live action. Yeah, we have actors, we have props. Everything. So it's super cool. Like it's been a lot of fun. I feel like all of these passion projects and tributes and client work, the way that I treat my career is everything is like always building up to the next thing. So I feel like this has been about 10 years in the making. Well, it's my whole life, but right now I feel like I don't think you'll ever be ready for the next big movement in your life, but I feel like I'm as ready as I can be to direct this and make it and create it with my friends. So I'm very excited. I think it's going to be pretty special. So Yeah, it's going to be about 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yes.
It's all new, everything. There's things that we're making in there that I'm personally, I'm just a fan of the original Star Wars, so I'm only doing it based on the things that I loved. So I don't have an agenda from Disney. I'm not trying to sell product or make anything. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just simply making something in that world because I want to. So I think there's something really pure about that, and I think it's starting to show as the project is revealing itself. So it should be done at the end of next year. So yeah, we have a long process ahead, but an amazing group of friends and colleagues and collaborators already. So yeah. If I wasn't doing art, I really love cars, so I'd probably be in doing something, maybe building cars. If I couldn't do that, then probably just I love cooking food, so probably be a chef or something. So yeah, it's like an art form. It's one of the best because you can eat it. So, and it's pretty fast. So it doesn't take 2 years to make it. So yeah, but I love food. So I don't know. I plan a lot. I plan and I strategize my future a lot. Um, but I have lots of goals. So I'm 36 now. By the time I'm 40, I have a goal of directing a feature length kind of film or like a 30-minute thing, something like that. These are just bucket list goals, but my future, I mean, I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, which is just following my passions, and that's it. I'm going to do that until I can't do it anymore. So it's going to be, I feel like I'm finally getting momentum, and so I'm just going to keep the momentum going faster and faster. So, yeah.